Regulation I is here, which means that it's time to dust off the double restricted legendary meta. This is exactly what I was up to when I was farming clips for my newest VGC guide video focused on Rayquaza. Link is in bio, check it out please. Little did I know that I'd be tested this night as I queued into the renowned Poketuber Moxie Boosted. Not once, but twice. If you haven't heard of Moxie Boosted, he's a fantastic Poketuber and competitive player, with a huge following that he's garnered through his amazing VGC and general Pokemon content. So as a longtime fan, this was an unbelievable experience. My team for these games is a hyper offense Shadow Rider Calyrex and Rayquaza team that is meant to take KOs or trades as fast as possible to set up for a favorable endgame, while Moxie Boosted is rocking a Double Dog Daria Zacian and Zamazenta balance squad with an excellent supporting cast to make sure that both doggies can operate freely. Now let's kick it straight off into game 1. Moxie opens up with Protect on Zamazenta and Tailwind on Torn. Extreme Speed missed the KO by a wide margin on Tornadus, but Calyrex is able to clean it up with an Astral Barrage to get the +1 special attack boost. Urshifu comes in, and I think I'm sitting pretty for another Extreme Speed into that slot, but the unfortunate happens. This Urshifu is Terra Ghost.
Now for those of you yelling in the comments, you can't Wide Guard after Protect, you're wrong. You can't Protect after Wide Guard.
Even worse, I had bungled how Wide Guard and Protect work together, thinking it wouldn't be possible. And now I had a completely dead turn with Urshifu being immune to Extreme Speed and Wide Guard nullifying Astral Barrage. With Rayquaza basically being useless, I now hard switch into Qianpao to try and salvage a losing situation. I have to sack Calyrex due to it already being slower because of Tailwind and rolled the dice on him maybe targeting the other slot. Unfortunately, Moxie had me dead to rights with a coaching from Zamazenta into Urshifu to really drive the nail in. Rayquaza now switches back in, but I'm still stuck between a rock and a hard place. Moxie goes for the second coaching onto Urshifu, which sets it up to absolutely decimate Qianpao. I've chosen to lock Rayquaza into Dragon Ascent, as this is the best option that I have at this point, and it thankfully lands a pretty confident hit into a +2 defense Urshifu, meaning that I can deliver a KO next turn guaranteed. With Qianpao gone, Chi-Yu now enters the battle, my fourth and final Pokemon. Without a good reason to Terra anything else, I go for Terra Ghost on Chi-Yu, just for the off chance that he clicks Close Combat or Body Press. I do luck out with him clicking Aqua Jet, which does less than half thanks to the Terra, but I've fallen into the Zamazenta Protect trap again, as I click Heat Wave and double the Zama with Rayquaza to try and steal a double KO, but end up falling just short. Zacian, the final member of Moxie's team, hits the field, and I can finally answer. Moxie Boosted let the dogs out. With the writing on the wall, Moxie pulls out the easiest Wide Guard play of all time and crushed Chi-Yu with a Behemoth Blade to send this fish to the Shadow Realm. To my surprise, Dragon Ascent from Rayquaza does about 50% to a +1 defense Zamazenta, which does get my heart pumping a little bit, if only to think that maybe this silly little noodle does have some legs after all. Zacian delivers the final blow with a devastating Behemoth Blade and sends me to the loser's screen. I ultimately was not disappointed in this game. There were ways to improve and things I learned for future matches, so I leave this match knowing that there is hope for the future. But these positive vibes were quickly dashed.
Moxie's looking more swole by the day. To be honest, I have more like meat on me, but not necessarily because I've been locking in at the gym. I only locked in like...
Here I was, sweating it out, trying to prove myself, while my opponent's chat room was marveling at his splendor. I was forced to tuck my tail, sent my GGs well played into the chat, and was on my way to put the pieces back together of the shambles that my life had now fallen into. That was until...
Lord Mingus. Okay, we're running it back against Mr. Steelix, your girl. Mr. Steelix, your girl. I know you didn't stream snipe the first time, but if you do it the second time, ooh.
We queued up again. This time, it was for pride. It was time for game 2. I chose to run a slightly different lead with Rayquaza and Chi-Yu. Bringing Chi-Yu in the front allowed me to far better threaten Zamazenta in case he let it again, and bingo, same lead as last time. This go around, I knew how devastating Tailwind was for my team, and so to deal with it, I had to make a huge gamble. I needed Rayquaza to take this KO no matter what, so I went all in with a Qianpao switch in Terra Normal.
You may have heard these words before. but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
The turn 1 KO on Tornadus was secured, halting him from outspeeding my Shadow Rider Calyrex in the back for the remainder of the game. He then brought in Zacian, giving him a positive matchup into Rayquaza by fully walling extreme speed again. This time, I decide to leave Rayquaza in, hoping that he targets it down so that I can get a free switch into Chi-Yu or Shadow Rider in the back. Moxie opts to show his Terra on Zacian, which ends up being Terra Stellar. Zamazenta easily sponges the extreme speed, and Zacian lands the play rough straight into Rayquaza for an easy one-hit knockout. Sacred Sword comes out from the Qianpao to hit Zama for super effective damage and to bypass its defense boost. To my horror, he goes for the coaching boost onto Zacian, meaning that whatever I bring out is certain to be KO'd. It's time for Chi-Yu against the double dog.
面白くなってきたな。一丁教えてやろうぜ、サスケ。
Zacian goes for the Protect, which saves it from overheat this turn, but Qianpao managed to take the KO on Zamazenta, setting up a favorable endgame for Shadow Rider. Urshifu now enters the battle as Moxie Boosted's fourth and final Pokemon. Urshifu goes for an Aqua Jet, hoping to secure a potential one-hit knockout, but Chi-Yu holds on. My Chi-Yu was slower than his Zacian, but the gods showed down on me and the play rough missed.
I win.
Allowing Overheat to land and secure the one-hit knockout on Zacian, leaving just Urshifu into a 1v3 situation. Qianpao and Chi-Yu join together for one last push as they team up to eliminate the Pokemon that had dominated me in the last game and thus secured us the run back. As a conclusion, these games obviously are just for fun. I wanted to share them because it was so cool getting to play a big Poketuber like Moxie Boosted, GG's, and well played, and hopefully we will be able to settle the score and play a game 3 to finish this series out and decide the final winner. But to finish this video, I want to leave you with some wise words from the Moxie Boosted himself.
Good game. You got me on the run back. You got me on the run back. But you know what I can do instead of accepting this loss? Learning to play better and improving my play? Blame it on the team. This team sucks. No, we're going to get one more with it.